Yes and yes.
Okay.
It's beneficial in many ways. One of the reasons why I love doing the core values with DISC is because they layer. DISC is a behavioral analysis, so it's helping you understand the behaviors that you have, understanding the bluntness, understanding the detail. It sounds you've got some what I would hear some C in there with all the detail, the creative, and maybe a little bit of D, but sometimes that comes across, which is be it like a driver. I don't know how if you're bottom line. But when we understand, and I actually did an episode on this, how core values and DISC mirror each other, or how different personality types, because that's what I keep getting, are different personality types going to have more common core values? And I say yes, because if you communicate in a certain way, it's probably because of a core value that you have. When you look at DISC, you've got your D, which is your driver. These are very bottom line, results-oriented people. So your core values, if you're a D, are more likely going to fall into a very productive space, right? It's like they're going to be core values about accomplishing something. The I's are your influencers. These are your relationship people. And your D's are only 3% of the population too. So your I's are relationship people. These are going to be, their core values for an I are more likely going to be in a relational area. For me, I'm a very high I, and mine are freedom of thought, belonging, and authenticity, right? So that very much falls in that same category. Your S's are your steadies. They're the people who mess up your change curve, and they want a lot of safety. So they're going to be like, I literally had a client whose top core value was reliability. I thought, how boring is that, right? But it really resonated with her. So then the C's are the creatives or the compliance, and they're very detail oriented. And so they might be all about following through. And I have one who that was hers. It was like, you can follow through, then we're good, right? And core values are mirrored. They're for me, and I want them for you as well. I want you to be able to think for yourself as well. But when we start layering all this information that we pull in, I mean, I'm one of those personality type junkies. I know my Enneagram and my Myers-Briggs and all of that. But when we do that, especially when I look at core values layered with DISC and how we want to live, that helps you kind of have a little bit more of a 3D picture. And it helps you understand why certain things are going to come out the way they come out. Not just that you're wired that way, but why you're wired that way. And I think that's the full picture that I like to paint with clients. So, I think it's very beneficial to have more than one thing at your disposal. It's just like if you're working on a repair project or a renovation project, you don't want a tool belt with just a hammer. You want a tool belt with a bunch of different tools, and having your core values and these different indexes, whatever works for you. If there's not one personality type indicator out there that is the only one you should use. There's just not. It's the information that you're looking for. They all measure something a little bit different. And I use the DISC with my core values together to really give you a 3D look at who you are and why.